Josh Green here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by Barry McGuigan here in Barnsley. Another victory for Callum Dubois in the medical room just behind us.
Yeah.
Real impressive victory,
Thank you.
has to be said.
Yeah, she was really great. That kid, Maria Moreno, wow, Moneo, she's so tough, incredibly tough. But she took a battering and she was dropped. And what round was she dropped? Was it the 8th? I think it was the 8th. And Karen is a bit frustrated that she didn't stop her, but she won every round and she dominated the fight, and she's getting better and better. And this is the sort of experience that, you cannot beat this type of experience. She got through the fight completely unscathed. A little bit of bumps of the heads every now and again, a bit of bruising around one cheekbone. But other than that, she was completely unscathed and a brilliant performance.
How much of a positive is it that she's sort of showing those signs of frustration, even though she's secured a shutout victory essentially tonight?
Exactly that. The fact that she's unhappy with her performance and that she wanted a better performance, then you would expect her. She's a perfectionist. That's the point, and she wants to look great, and she wants to stop everybody, and she wants to batter everybody. That's a sort of intent that she has. She's a very talented kid, and she's going to go all the way. I promise you, she's going to beat all of the top girls. I promise you.
That WBC interim title puts her in with a shot of Katie Taylor. We know Katie Taylor's got plenty of options on the table. Do you think she'll want to fight Caroline?
I don't know. I mean, you have to ask Katie Taylor that. We've got utmost respect for Katie Taylor. First of all, she's Irish. So, I think the world of her. She's a tremendously talented girl and has done an amazing amount for boxing in Ireland, and particularly for girls, and particularly for the Irish nation in the Olympics and all of that sort of stuff. She's outstanding talent, and she's coming, I suppose, to near the end of the road. We'd love to get that fight before she sort of gives up boxing, but we're honestly, Karen will fight anybody, and we're looking for the top names now, and we believe the next 12 months, 18 months will be really where she's at insofar as getting the best fights. She's well capable of fighting either Katie Taylor or Chantel Cameron if they fancy it, and we're very keen to get it on. She wants all the big names, and she's ready to go. I know from having been there and seen it and bought the t-shirt that she's going to excel against the better girls. So this girl, Maria Moneo, was incredibly tough. Dropped in, as I said, I think it was the 8th. We were all so excited, jumping up and down. And she didn't finish her, but she is ridiculously tough, that girl. And so I would like to see any of the girls I mentioned stopping her. I'd be very surprised. She's just incredibly tough, and hats off to her.
We saw Chris Smith over in the US. I saw a video of him calling out, saying he wants the Jai Opetaia fight, possibly the biggest fight in the cruiserweight division. How keen would you be to see Chris in the ring with Jai?
Yeah, I would love to see him in big fights, because he deserves it, because he's trained really hard and he's an exceptional young man, and he's always been the outsider, looking in, and nobody expected him to win, but we knew what he was capable of. And look what he did with Lawrence Okoli, look what he did with the last opponent, who's supposed to have was going to knock him out, and then he battered the pole in his first defence. So I know what he's capable of, and Mundo Ramirez would be a great fight. Jai Opetaia fine, but I'd like to have him fight Ramirez first if I had the choice. You've got to take into consideration television and networks and all of that, money. And we really think that he can beat Ramirez, and we believe he can beat Opetaia as well.
You talked about Katie Taylor hanging up the gloves. I know it's a decision you made at a fairly young age for a professional fighter. Last weekend we saw Derek Chisora and Joyce, 38 and 40 years of old respectively, in a real war of a fight, and they've taken a lot of damage over the years. What would your advice be to those two fighters?
I don't think there's any point in me saying what I feel, because they'll do their own thing. I can have my opinion, and I think that Joe Joyce has done tremendously well, an Olympic silver medalist and lovely kid and hard working attritional fighter who wears you down and overcomes so much. But I think his punch resistance is not what it was. I think that was cracked with Zhang. And those 2 stoppages, one was in 6 rounds, the second one was in 3 rounds. You saw against Chisora, he was dropped. He didn't have the same snap in his punches. Never was a snappy punches. Let's be honest. But he seemed to have diminished quite considerably. So again, if I were him, I would look for another easy fight and then bow out. But he's his own man. He will do his own thing. And Derek, nobody talks to Derek because Derek doesn't listen to anybody. So he does his own thing. But great surprise win for him. I would have picked Joyce over to win that fight. But it sounds like there's a great excitement in this one behind us. So in any case, I mean, that would be my advice to both of them. Stop now. That's enough. You've done your bit. But who am I to say that? It's a very personal thing, and they'll make their own decisions.
Daniel Dubois, a fighter that spent plenty of time in the McGuigan gym. He was obviously out on the 21st of September against Anthony Joshua. A huge opportunity and a huge fight for him. A lot of people are saying mentality is a key for both fighters. How much do you see it as a key for both?
Well, I think it's a key for every fighter in every fight. Mentality is absolutely crucial. So that plays a part in every fight. You look at skill, you look at ability, you look at recent results, you look at performances. Can he take a shot? Can he deliver a shot? Can he go into the late rounds? All of those things you've got to build up and then weigh them up and then make your decision as to who you think is going to win the fight. I mean, Joshua would be a favourite, but Dubois can knock him out. Believe me, he can knock anybody out if he hits him on the chin. And he showed against Hrgovic he had to take some stick, and he came back and he overwhelmed him, and I know the cut-eye was what stopped it eventually, but he was completely on top. Can he win the fight? Absolutely. All he needs is a half a second and he can end this fight, so don't doubt that. You still got to make Joshua a slight favourite, but Dubois has a terrific chance.
Tyson Fury has made the decision to stick with the corner that was with him through the first loss to Usyk. Yeah. What do you make of that decision from Tyson, and do you expect anything to change?
No, I would expect him to show loyalty to the corner. He's had that corner for quite a while, and he's been successful. Why would he change it? He's done very well as a heavyweight champion. He's been around a long time. He served the sport well. He's earned a lot of money. Will he beat Usyk? Never, as far as I'm concerned. And I don't mean that in a nasty way. I'm just simply saying Usyk has his number. He was lucky to get through the fight. He could have been stopped. And I don't think he's going to do any better. He's not the sort of guy that keeps himself, and you see all sorts of videos about him falling out of bars and all that sort of stuff, and so he obviously has let his hair down, have a bit of a booze and a bit of relaxation and all that, which you expect after a fight. The problem is these days there's fucking cameras everywhere, and the video, and everybody wants, because he's the world heavyweight or the former world heavyweight champion, everybody wants to take videos of him. But it's just, all I'm doing is I'm not God, and I can't decide who's going to win fights and they win it. I'm only guessing, as we all are. But my guess is that his judging on his performance last time, and I don't think he's going to get any better. I don't think he's going to be any more effective against Usyk. I think Usyk this time will probably stop him. He almost stopped him the last time. I think the referee, the American referee, done Tyson a favour, stopped Usyk from. All he needed was 1 or 2 punches in the fight where it was over. However, I think this time, because Usyk is just a better liver, you look at their performances in the recent past and you think, how does that compare to this? And Usyk's he's an athlete. He trains all the time. He's always in shape. He works his arse off. He's a genuine 14.5, 15 stone that boils down to cruiserweight when he was at his best. But he's still a very effective heavyweight. If you don't hit somebody hard enough, you hit them often enough. And he certainly is able to do that. He is an incredible, effective way of working guys out and nullifying their best assets and taking it away from them. So I think, in short, he does the same thing, and only this time he stops him between midway and 9 rounds. I just don't think Fury has enough durability or freshness left in him to be able to beat Usyk. I don't think he beat him. Usyk beats him every day of the week and twice on Sunday. That's just the way it is.